ArmA. The name alone evokes a connotation of realism, freedom, creativity, and frustration all at once. No other game out there has the ability to immerse its players in the gritty, in-your-face action of combat at ground level, while simultaneously hosting a dynamic war in two other realms of conflict. To be a grunt on the ground, focused so intently on your mission that you forget there is an air war raging above you, or naval assets fighting offshore, is the essence of ArmA that Bohemia so eloquently captured. The Real Virtuality engine has allowed ArmA players to get lost for thousands of hours in its warm, Mediterranean-themed world, while asset modders provide 95% of the continued longevity of this game. There has never been a better time to climb into ArmA 3. Bohemia Interactive is still, as of July 2020, pumping out new content for its DLCs, most recently the work-in-progress announcement of the Global Mobilization DLC, which will add new aircraft, vehicles, and missions. Speaking to the DLC, I believe they are worth their price if its content piques your interest. Many people have asked me if the Jets DLC is required or which DLC I recommend, and to tell you the truth, the only DLC I don't have is Laws of War and TAC Ops. Laws of War is a great idea and a good addition to the anti-war message ArmA has always been about, but it just didn't really grab me, so I didn't buy it. TAC Ops looks really awesome, but I couldn't justify paying for missions. All of the other DLC is well worth it, in my honest opinion, especially if you can get it on sale. We're in the middle of the Steam Summer Sale as I write this, so hopefully some of you took advantage of it and grabbed some DLC for a couple bucks. A vast majority of the player base doesn't stick with just vanilla ArmA. Most of us play ArmA 3 for the mods. You absolutely cannot argue that the mods are the life's blood of ArmA 3, as well as every major Bohemia installment before this. Bohemia Interactive knows this and relishes in the fact that the community has a player base that is smart and sophisticated enough to create incredible content that rivals the base game's assets in fidelity and character. Bohemia has remained extremely close with the content creators and has even implemented some of their mods and ideas into the game itself. This type of player-developer interaction is almost unmatched in a game that spans this scope that ArmA does. I have close to 2,300 in-game hours as I write this. Doing a little public math, that's a little over 95 days. Over 3 months of my life spent in this game. The funny part is, every single time I open the editor, it's like the first time all over again. It's a blank canvas begging me to paint. A box of Legos asking to be built. The creativity of ArmA 3 pulls me back over and over again. With the unpredictability of the AI, almost no engagement ever goes the same exact way. There will always be a slight change to the pathing and the engagements. So, is ArmA 3 worth it in 2020? My answer is a resounding yes, but with a slight caveat. You have to manage your expectations. Yes, this game has optimization issues to this day and is extremely CPU thirsty. If you have a solid PC build, you won't run into too much trouble until you have a large amount of assets in the game world all at once. The AI, believe it or not, is very sophisticated, and the amount of things that are being calculated at any given moment by the Real Virtuality engine is pretty astounding, so it's easy to see why ArmA 3 demands such a respectable machine to run well. Things like weather, humidity, wind, and rain are all factored into ballistics effects on the ground and aerodynamics when in flight. But witnessing these things in action, all while trying to accomplish a mission task, is such an incredible feeling. And many people cite this game for its faults, stating that it's too wonky to enjoy or too difficult to understand. I would kindly argue that it is ArmA 3's difficulty and rough edges that make it a joy to play. Completing even the simplest of tasks can feel like an accomplishment to some. For example, lifting a piece of cargo in a helicopter doesn't sound like an amazing feat worthy of recognition, but it's probably one of the hardest things to master, especially if you're using the advanced flight model. What may seem like a completely mundane task can actually tip the scale of a battle. No war is fought and won without logistics. ArmA 3 provides multiple avenues for people who enjoy the support role over the in-your-face action. Many people enjoy being transport pilots and drivers, shuttling troops to and from the battlefield in online servers, and that's amazing. You have people who are willing to make their contribution to the fight the actual delivery of the fight itself. Not only the delivery of the warfighters, but the supplies and vehicles to keep the fires of war burning that will eventually lead to victory. It's not just pilots and logistics that are able to occupy the support role. Fire support is one of the most awesome displays of ArmA's destructive capabilities. Everything from the humble mortar team to the overwhelming firepower of multiple launch rocket systems and heavy mobile artillery are at your disposal. These support roles can be the difference in victory or defeat in-game. Most of the time, when I join an ArmA server, the AI difficulty is usually ramped up pretty high to give a challenge worth fighting for. This can be a little frustrating at times, as the AI can seemingly pick you off from a good distance away, but you are given the tools to counter their increased ability. The AI is good, but a resourceful, veteran ArmA player is better. Using the assets available to you, such as drones, or even your handheld laser designator to spot and destroy enemies before they get the drop on you, are completely within the realm of possibility. Many players forget that this isn't Call of Duty or Battlefield. While those games are great in their own right, especially Battlefield, you will absolutely fail if you take the same approach to combat in ArmA 3. ArmA 3 combat is slow and calculated, especially when multiple other players are involved. This mirrors many real-life aspects of war. Gearing up, planning, logistics, operations orders are all basic functions of ArmA 3 community units, many of whom have rank and command structures to ensure their order of battle flows smoothly. I myself have been a part of a couple great units where there were both an air and ground element, all being coordinated in real time in order to complete an operation. A lot of these times, these operations, or simply ops, would be a lot of flying around in formation with a few wingmen, or maybe getting to drop a bomb or two during a call for fire, after which we would return for a debrief and go over the mission. What worked, what didn't work. This was always a lot of fun to me, as it's not always about being the guy that blows everything up, but instead being a reliable part of a team helping the bigger picture come together. ArmA 3 can be summed up in the old adage, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So many pieces come together to form what ArmA 3 is for me and so many others. The gameplay, the weapons and vehicles, the mods, and especially the music. ArmA 3 soundtrack is hands down one of my favorite of any game I've ever played. It's available on Spotify and it's awesome. The synthesized beats and electronic melodies are perfect for the near future setting Bohemia was aiming for. Visuals are only a piece of the puzzle, the rest is made up of gameplay mechanics and an effective soundtrack. Without sound, there is no game, and these tracks have stuck with me and will forever be on my list of favorites. All in all, the future of ArmA 3 is still bright, as it is still one of Steam's top played games as of July 2020, and is by far one of the oldest games in the top 50. The future of the franchise has not been revealed, but Bohemia Interactive did state that ArmA 3 would not be the last of the franchise. I wait patiently and hopeful that I hear news about ArmA 4. I truly believe that with the community Bohemia has gathered and the quality player base that ArmA 3 has generated, that ArmA 4 has the potential to be one of the best games ever released. I'd love to see ArmA 4 take us into the next chapter of the ArmAverse, maybe expanding on its core assets a little more than they do. Mods have proved that interactive cockpits are completely doable, and I'd love to see them include this with the base game content like fighters and tanks. The more developed the framework is of the base game content, the higher quality mods will in turn be generated by our talented and dedicated community of modders. ArmA 4 can very easily set the next standard for combat simulators of the future. Bohemia need only take the things that make ArmA 3 great and expand on them. While Call of Duty and Battlefield continue to spin controversy with blunder after blunder while spitting out games every year or so, ArmA is years overdue for a sequel, and its impact on the Steam community will be felt for another 7 years, if not more. Well guys, thank you for listening to my thoughts on ArmA 3 and my hopes for the future of the franchise. To say I love this game and its community is an understatement. I will continue to push out list videos, and I'm getting back on track on getting some mod reviews completed. Your support and encouragement means the world to me, and I truly love reading all of your guys' amazing comments. What are your thoughts on ArmA 4? What direction would you like the franchise to go? Farther into the future? Maybe back into the past a little? Bohemia really has every direction they can go, and we'll be riding shotgun the whole way.